Good afternoon, everyone. This is Clara with Card Stamping with Clara. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm glad to have you with me today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're someone that's been following me, welcome back. I appreciate it. I hope that, well, I have a fly here that said that it's going to join me today. They seem to always find the place when it's time to do the video. I don't know why, but it's just the way it is, I guess. If you haven't pushed my subscribe button to my channel, I really appreciate you doing that. It helps me and helps you to be notified when I do a video. I have been struggling to get one out this week. I've had computer problems, and it all started with an update, and we don't really know what went wrong. We're still trying to get it straightened out to some degree. My son's been helping, and we've been backing up material for 3 or 4 days now, but I'm hoping that we've got it so I can limp along enough to get this video on today. I'm going to try anyway. The set that I'm using today is to make this little card right here. It's called You Brighten My Path. And I had not purchased this set of stamps initially, but I had a need. I have a little grandson that is in Boy Scouts, and this set is called Campology. And of course, the Boy Scouts do a lot of camping and what have you. And they've been selling popcorn for, to raise money. So he needed some thank you notes for people that had bought popcorn from him. So I have been making lots of thank you notes because people have been generous and purchased popcorn for him. And so I decided I would invest in this because it was appropriate for my need. It's got a pretty set of trees, and it's got a tent. It's got binoculars, a lantern, coffee pot, and mug. And then it's got the sentiments: explore, you brighten my path, happy trails, and enjoy today. It's a nice, clean set, as you can see. And I've used it a lot this week and last week and, for several days. I used that one. I don't know where this fly came from, folks. Honestly, I apologize. And if I could get rid of him, I would. But he seems to like me an awful lot today. Anyway, the sentiment I used on the inside is hope each moment of your day is as special as you are. So that's the sentiment I've used in a lot of these. And the die that I used on the card that I'm making is this second die of the rectangle stitch die set. One of my favorites, this and the circle, layering circles. I love that one too, as you'll see some more of those. But anyway, I haven't used a lot of extra stuff in these cards. This next one that I'm going to show you just says explore. So the sentiment is in the set of stamps. And I just cut that. I didn't have a die for that. And I colored the little tent blue, and then I've got the mossy meadow for the grass, and I just stamped some trees. It's very simple, but I think it's attractive. And then it has the same sentiment that I showed you a minute ago from that garden birdhouse set. So that was the second card. I'll lay it over. This one, I used the evening evergreen, the soft succulent, the so saffron is the yellow color, and colored in the center of the lamp, and used the end colors with the it's this year's set of gems. The end color gems is what they're called. So this one, I did the same thing. You brighten my path and hope each moment of your day is as special as you are. That just seemed to go so well with a lot of these. And I hadn't envisioned making Christmas cards from a Campology set, but I came up with one, and I hope you like it. I used the Melon Mambo and kind of gave it that pink in behind the moon, and then I used some Highland Heather and maybe a little Gorgeous Grape and some Night of Navy to sponge that in. I just used some Post-it tape and taped off areas at a time, like the moon and what have you, and stamped it. So I really like these kinds of cards. They're a little bit of takes a little time to get them sponged and what have you, but I always like the effect. I think sponging is one of my favorite things, the effect when you get done. But anyway, this Merry Christmas came from the Sparkle of the Season set. And then this Wishing Your Family Health and Happiness Throughout the Coming Year came from the Happy Holidays stamp set. So there's my Christmas card. This one, I also did some sponging in it. I sponged some of the Mango Melody, and then I put probably some Daffodil Delight in there too, down near the ground. And then I went back and I just stamped those trees in front of the where I had sponged. And I cut out all these little tents as if there was a whole group of Boy Scouts out there camping. And it says, enjoy today. And I can tell you, it didn't take long to cut those tents out. You'd be surprised. I just, there was no dies with this set. And I had, well, there's 8 of them. And I had them cut out in just a few minutes. So it didn't take long to do that. And the same sentiment on the inside. The border color is Evening Evergreen. I made a birthday set. I made a birthday card out of this set. If you got a coffee drinker in your family or a friend that really loves coffee. And, I think this looks like a man to me. I could be wrong, but, somehow that coffee pot and mug had kind of a manly look. And I thought, they'd make a nice birthday card. So I had a little happy birthday stamp that I pretty much keep out here on my desk all the time because it's small and it just works in small places and I just love it. So I'm not sure where it came from. It's probably out of, a retired stamp. But, me, I'm going to use some of my retired things. I just think it's a waste not to. So this is Real Red, and this is a Christmas paper, and this was, I don't think this was crumb cake. It might have been Sahara sand. But anyway, I stamped it in early espresso. I am sure of that. But sometimes when I'm looking at these really close colors, I may forget. But I think it was probably the Sahara sand. And I stamped in red, and I had a red border on this one. Made another Christmas card. This one, I used the embossing folder, and it's in the mini catalog, and it comes with an evergreen embossing folder. 2 of the, I guess they're about 3.5, I'm not sure. But it's got a really pretty snow background, and I used the Evening Evergreen, and I had a dome, and I decided that I was going to stamp in the Evening Evergreen on the white. And then I would, outline it with the Evening Evergreen. And the way I did that is I just cut a second dome that was exactly the same size as this. And I split it up the middle and spread it out. And that way I can have a border around my dome. So that's how I did that one. And I've got the same Merry Christmas that I used on the other one. And the same sentiment on the inside. Evening Evergreen for the color in here too, and I was happy with that. I was happy with the way it turned out. So there's 2 Christmas cards out of a Campology set, and this is the card that is very close to the one I made for my grandson. I stamped some of them. I used Evening Evergreen. Some of them I used the Shaded Spruce on. This one's Shaded Spruce, and I was running a little short on ink, so I switched to this one from the Evening Evergreen, even though I like that one equally as well. And I put a tint on this one, and if you can see, this has got that other embossing folder image. It's got pine, it looks like pine needles all over it. So this is the crumb cake on this one. And I put thank you so much. And then on this one, I put may the good you do comes back to you. But I used the Very Vanilla on this one. I did not use the Very Vanilla on the ones I did for my grandson. I used the white, and it looked nice too. But I just tried, something a little different to see what it looked like, and I like both of them. So I hope that that will give you a few ideas out of a set that may or may not have caught your attention right away. But either way, it's fine. I mean, our needs are all different at different times, so we have to go with what we need at the time. All right. Of course, this is in a horizontal orientation, and I did the inside of this one. And this is done in the basic gray. Hope each moment of your day is as special as you are. So this one is very simple on the inside, as they usually are, and it's already done. So we're going to do the outside here, and I have some cardstock already cut. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it will be the underneath layer. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. And it is this is the basic gray, and this is the, I believe it's the, well, I think it was the concrete, the gray concrete. I'm sorry, I'll put it in my notes. I've drawn a blank, but this is more of the basic gray. And this is going to go up at the top. I went ahead and popped these out, and I've colored 2 of them and put dimensionals on the back, and I'll show you what I used to color the other one. We've got some dimensionals and a couple of gems here. So I'm going to use a light daffodil blends to color this one. And it's really easy, but if somebody hadn't used blends, you might not know what they are. They have a paint end on one end and a bullet end on the other one. And if I can get it off, I'm sorry. Here we go. That's what a bullet end looks like. So I'm going to just color in this center, and I'm just kind of going round and round and making it easy. But putting this yellow into this like it's burning, I think really adds a nice effect. Okay, that's all there is to it. And I'll go ahead. Now I will say this, if you're on a surface that might be, let's just say that this might stain, then you might want to put something under it, because it will come through a little bit sometimes. And the more you use, the more it's that way. But in general, you don't have too much trouble. But, I don't know what kind of surface you might have to work on. And I certainly don't want you to ruin something with an alcohol marker, and that's what the blends are. Okay, I'm going to take a sheet of these dimensionals, and if you notice, I have put 4 at the top and 2 at the bottom, and the reason I did that is because of this panel. It just will level it up a little bit better doing it that way, and I wanted to make sure that I did the best I could to get it level. I'll put it that way. So I'm using my pick-a tool here to do that. All right, now these are all ready, and we'll lay those right there. And what I did was I stamped the image first, and then I put my die on top of it with the sharp side down and ran it through my machine. And that way you can get them lined up so much better than trying to stamp on a blank piece and get it even from side to side. I just like doing it that way. I think it works better. All right, next thing we're going to do is this little You Brighten My Path. It's just on a little rectangle. And I just cut me a strip of the white and stamped it, and cut off the ends of this, which is not hard to do. And if you'll notice, I mean, a lot of these, other than maybe me using one of the stitch dies just because I like it. Well, let's see here. Yeah, this is the wrong side. I had a little blob when I first stamped this one, and I wasn't satisfied with it, so I decided that I would flip it over and see if I could get a little better image. I just don't like, you know, when it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right. It's just simple as that. I'm going to take a little bit of this off because I got kind of a lot. All right. I'm going to, as best I can, eyeball this and put it in the center. And that's maybe needs to be moved a little bit. You can move them a little bit once you lay them down, but you can't move them too much. And I think this will be pretty close. Okay. All right. Now, I didn't do this when I fixed the other one, but I had the idea that I really think this would have worked better. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the lighter shade of gray here. And like I said, I will look and see what it is and make sure that it is in my notes. I thought I had everything taken care of, but it's easy to miss stuff, and I do make mistakes. Mercy, I do. All right. The reason I want to put this down is because I think the spacing, it will help me with the spacing of the lanterns when I put them on. So I'm going to put this on first. And I'm just going to give it looks like it's lined up pretty good. Just give a little tiny border up at the top. I got a tiny little bit of glue right there. A tiny little bit right there. Okay, and I'm going to press this down. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I've got a little wipe here to get that up with, is that this strip is 3/8 of an inch. I measured it before I started, and this one is an inch, and that would be by 5 inches, both of them being 5 inches. Okay. Now, the next thing, of course, is putting on this strip. Okay. And I'm going to look at this one. I like the spacing on this one. I think actually I must have cut this one a little bit wider, but it is 3/8. All right. That looks pretty good. What you need is just about halfway between these 2 points. And I believe that's all right. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I am going to space one of these on the right, on the left, and one on the right. Doesn't matter which way first, but we want to do the outside ones first, and then we'll divide the distance in the middle. And that way, your spacing should be good. Well, you seem to get these off either way today. I got some round ones here too. Must have been using a different kind the other day. All right, now then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to space this where the dimensionals are, and put that just above, but not so far up that the that I lose a border. I can't do that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. You can see that I have left a little bit of space at the bottom, a little bit of space at the top, and a little bit on the side. Okay. And now we'll get the other side. I think I should have turned on my air conditioner. It is hot in here. We're turning on the heat at night. And by the time it gets to be this time of the day, which is, looks like about 2:15 here with the new time that we started yesterday, it has gotten warm. All right. And the reason I'm holding it like this is I want to try to get the margin around the sides the same, or as close as I can. Looks like it needs to be pressed out just a little bit there. Now I can lay that right in between the two and to get the third one, and I don't have to worry about how much room I've got. It just, like I said, it just works better this way. I've been toying with an idea here for a couple of days, and I actually worked on it a little bit this morning. I already had these done, and I got a little surprise. My daughter's, well, the lady that comes and gives our son our grandson some therapy in the mornings, wasn't able to come today. So Grandma had to do a little babysitting this morning. I didn't get this on as fast as I had really planned to, but that's okay. I've got to take care of my little one. And so while I was out there with him and could work on it and couldn't do, the video, I've been thinking about using up some scraps, like Christmas paper scraps and things like that. And I've been reading about junk journals, and I didn't even know what they were a few days ago. Okay, let me stop yapping here a minute, and we'll take this piece and put it on the one that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then we'll have our border. But basically, it's a way to keep memories, and I'm sure I looked up the definition and all kinds of things, but you can take your scraps that you have from, like, card projects. That's what I've done. And decorate things like junk mail out of the mailbox, the envelopes from that, or take a manila envelope. I took one of those this morning, did a little experimenting. And you can really make some pretty designs out of these little pieces of paper. And then you have a place to store some memories. And I thought, well, you know what? I think I'm going to make one of those for Christmas. And just maybe we might do a video on that too. I'm not real sure yet. I know this is card stamping, but other crafts are good too. And I think the biggest problem I have sometimes is deciding what to do. And I get distracted. I want to do everything, and I can't do everything. You know, you got to set priorities, and honestly, I'm not very good at that, but I'm trying to get to where I'm better. I'll put it that way. Okay, let's put this on the envelope. Make sure that, on the card base, make sure that your card base is turned the right way so you don't end up with a upside down front, which has been known to happen. I think anybody that has made cards, that's happened to once or twice. Maybe there's a few people that, you know, get it right every time. But you see how simple this little card is? And I'm going to put these jewels on it. These were also from that yen color. And these are from my stash. I ran out of the yen color. I've used so many of them this year, and I really like them. They're pretty. They're, you know, it's got some that's like the soft succulent, and it also has the evening evergreen, and just the pink. There was a pink. Well, I'm having a little trouble getting this one open. Maybe I can. And this is not the same color, but it's pretty close. And let's see what they look like. Like I said, it was just something I had in my stash. And, you know, if you've ordered from Stampin' Up, you know that it takes a few days to get the products. I mean, it just does. We get spoiled to stuff like, you know, getting it quick like Amazon. But it'll take sometimes on towards 10 days, at least a week, to get your stuff from Stampin' Up. So you kind of have to plan ahead, and if you use more than you anticipate, then sometimes you'll run out of things. Sometimes they have trouble getting things from, they have this year, because of the backup and the docks and things, and that's nobody's fault at Stampin' Up, but still, I don't know what you would call this color. Like I said, it's just in my stash. I hope I'm getting those on. Nope, it didn't get it on straight. I don't know if I'm seeing crooked today, I guess. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm putting a large one in the middle, and I've put two smaller ones, one on each side. I just kind of like that effect on this for some reason. Now, let me see. Yeah, I think those are okay. And they're a little brighter, I guess, or a little deeper color than this one. And you may like this one better with these evening, with these end colors. I'm not quite sure which I like better, but there they are. You can decide for yourself. But you know what? If you folks think you might enjoy me doing a junk journal, and we'll kind of learn together as we go, leave me a message. I'd appreciate that. I kind of like to have a feel whether anybody would like to see that or not. So, I guess that's about it for today. If you haven't pushed the subscribe button, I don't know why that word gives me such a problem. It just wants to hang in my throat for some reason. I'd appreciate it. And if you should order something from me and you need an item, I'd appreciate your business, but always remember to use my host code, because if you don't, I won't know that you have purchased anything. I won't get credit for it, and you won't get a free gift. So I will mention that again. If you, if you purchase $50 worth, I'm going to give you a $10 gift of your choice out of the catalog, whichever one you want. But if you don't use the code, I can't do it because I don't know. So, there again, always remember to use that host code as long as it's under $150 before tax and shipping. All right. You all have a nice afternoon. I thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good week this week. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye.